Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to talk about today. And to my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. I'm doing more uploads. We're almost at 117,000 subs. Hit subscribe right now. Tell your friends to hit subscribe. We're almost at 120,000 subscribers. Lindsey Graham, FBI and DOJ waging bureaucratic coup against Trump. This is today. Lindsey Graham knows exactly what we know. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a coup underway. It's been underway for, since the day he won. Actually, if you want to get technical, they started a coup in 2015 against Trump. Okay? And if they did 1/3, 1/4, actually 1/10 of what they did, if they did 1/10 of what they did against Trump towards Clinton, she'd be in jail for 100 years. And many people around her would flip and sing. Brian Pagliano transferred top secret and special access program intelligence from Cybernet, JWICS, and SCIFs, along with other people, and nobody knows how he did it. The second that Chuck Grassley, Lindsey Graham, all of them decide to talk about that, it's game, set, match. But everything that we've been talking about on this channel, everything that I've been writing about, we have spoken about this every day for like 2 years. This is a coup against Trump. This is essentially a media-driven, deep state, swamp, intelligence community, whatever you want to call it, coup. They don't care. I was actually watching yesterday Newt Gingrich on The View. Okay, Newt Gingrich on The View with Whoopi Goldberg and what's her name? It's the hilarious one. The meltdown. It was a hilarious meltdown on election night. Joy Behar. Okay, so they brought up the Mueller probe because they were trying to, talk about. They were trying to get Newt Gingrich to say something horrible about Trump, and they're like, "Well, what about the Mueller probe?" And he was like, "Look, there are 17 Democrats that are all partisan, super liberal Democrats." One of whom, Andrew Weissman, known to have ethics violations. One attorney worked for the Clinton Foundation. They didn't care. Nobody on The View cared. And not only that, one person actually said, well, aren't lawyers supposed to be completely objective? They're like judges. They're supposed to be completely objective no matter what. And you could hear even the liberal audience that like hated Trump, they're laughing. Everyone's laughing. Like you could hear like a murmur of laughter. They don't care about facts. It's not if there's a hint of sexism or bias or whatever, it's, oh my God, Russia collusion. We don't know how swing states were altered their votes, but we know that we got, they say two things at once. They always claim two things at once, and then they complain eventually about losing. We won the popular vote. The country really wants Clinton, but Russia influenced swing states. This is essentially what they're saying. Because Russia influenced the election, but we won the popular vote. Well, which one is it? Which one is it? You can't claim that you're so happy you won the popular vote, while at the same time claiming Russia influenced the election. If they influenced the election, you would not have won the popular vote. And there would be some evidence of a specific Facebook ad that linked to votes lost in Wisconsin or Michigan or Pennsylvania. Because guess what? The fake, phony, like giant, racist vote that they say took place, well, those states haven't voted Republican since the 80s. Now you have people who are just, they don't care. My point is the DOJ, obviously under Rod Rosenstein, it doesn't even matter if, and these people are hilarious also because they're like, you see all the same people pumping the Russia myth. They're now calling the New York Times fake news. That story is fake news planted by Jim Jordan. There is no logic. There is no reason. There is no actual just plane or a plane of logic or some kind of agreed upon facts where you can have a debate or discussion. They don't care if it's all 17 Democrats on the Mueller probe. They don't care if Trump was spied on and since 2015. They don't care if they can't find any evidence. It's, oh, we'll eventually find. We don't know. We don't know. They keep falling back on the stupidest rebuttal. When you claim something took place and you don't find evidence after a year, then you can't continue to claim that. They shouldn't even have been given a year because there was no evidence to actually make the claim. Generally speaking, gossip and hearsay, which is exactly what Lindsey Graham is talking about today through a bureaucratic framework, doesn't lead to investigations, doesn't lead to spying. It did against Trump. So this is Lindsey Graham today. He wants a special counsel to discuss the FISA, Clinton emails, all that stuff. And eventually, Democrats are not going to win the House. And I've actually been doing, of the toss-ups, like of the wins I gave Democrats, I can find 4 right now. Tenney and Faso in New York. There's one in Iowa, I forgot. I can tell you. Tenney, Faso in New York. Tenney and Faso in New York. And then there's, Bratt in Virginia. I think Bloom in Iowa, or Young in Iowa, Dave Young. Those 4, I only counted 22. That could, even just being generous, 22 wins. Just a quick look today, and you could realistically shave off 4 wins of the 22 that I analyzed, and they get 17, which is short of 23. But it wouldn't surprise me that to see Democrats get maybe 15, 16 seats. They're not going to get 30 or 23, sorry. But during the campaign, this is Lindsey Graham. So let's go ahead here. All right, so Lindsey Graham today, reading a Daily Caller article. During the campaign, it's clear that the Department of Justice and the FBI were tipping the scales for Clinton. This revelation after President Trump was sworn in shows they were trying to undermine the election. There's a bureaucratic coup going on at the Department of Justice and the FBI, and somebody needs to look at it, Graham said in an interview on Fox. So it's pretty obvious that Sessions does not want to address the 20, 30, 40, people at the DOJ, or the 20 or 30 people still at the FBI. There's probably 50 to 60 people at the FBI and DOJ who just don't want a change. They don't want Trump to be president. And, Dean Diefendorf, Sunday Gigante from Miami, Gringo in Miami. Dean, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching, Dean. But Lindsey Graham today just stated what we all know, that there's no evidence against Trump, yet the Democratic Party has been very successful in convincing millions of people. Right now, the Democratic Party does not have a platform that allows it to survive without the media. Okay, millennials are leaving the Democratic Party. When is the last time you saw young people gravitating towards becoming more conservative on things? When was the last time you saw millennials leave the Democratic Party? They don't have. When was the last time you saw African American, Latino walkaway videos? saying, I'm done with the Democratic Party. At what point in U.S. history have you seen this mass exodus of people of every background, white, black, Latino, Asian, every background? There are a lot of Muslim Americans voting for Trump. And the media is just impotent. They can't stop it. They can't stop it because you had a district in San Antonio in Texas, 75% African American and Hispanic, 75% voted Republican, and voted Republican for the first time in 139 years. Voted Republican for the first time in 139 years. This is the last chance for Democrats as a political party. Brian, HA, this is great news and all, but when does Strzok get his Purple Heart? Brian, thank you so much. Thank you, Brian. I agree with you. It's just, it's Strzok and Page and all of them. You can't. Well, Andrew McCabe right now. So regardless if Democrats control the House, he won't. They won't. But Andrew McCabe right now has an FBI criminal investigation. I'm sorry, a grand jury investigation. Trump is going to declassify documents. Now, even if they're redacted, officials and people who can give these documents to the jury will see will hopefully see the unredacted portions. But even the redacted portions would be enough to indict McCabe, who already the IG, Michael Horowitz, stated that he should be indicted. There's a criminal referral. He lied 3 times under oath. You really can't get away from that. Andrew McCabe is up the creek without a paddle. Trump didn't reverse the order. He just he said, well, we're going to redact a whole bunch of it. Whereas before he's like, no, just, declassify it, let it out. Then the UK and Australia were like, oh, you know what? Please don't do that. So Brian, Brian, thank you so very much. Andy is up for a Purple Heart too. So yeah, exactly. Well, Andrew McCabe is up the creek. The thing is, it's all coming crashing down. We're all finding out about it. Now you're finding out about it from this channel. And of course, from the person who's, without whom we wouldn't find out about anything, Tom Fitton. Tom Fitton is awesome. Judicial Watch. There are channels that talk about this. But most of them, Fox is actually on the right side of history. So Fox was not on the right side of history during Iraq, lead up to Iraq, during the Iraq War. It's still ongoing now, but we have soldiers there, 5,000, over 5,000, and I want them all home. I want to bring home all our soldiers from every war zone for Christmas and for New Year's, and bring them home with their families. That's what I want. If I can't get a candidate to realistically win the presidency with that, I'll vote for Trump, who is exponentially less hawkish and militant than any Democrat who would come in on let's be pragmatic, and then, like President Obama, destroy Libya, use NATO to bomb Libya, and then have literally slave auctions take place and a failed state. So the military interventions that Democrats push for are just as bad as the Bush administration. Why? Because you have Bill Kristol and Max Boot and Robert Kagan and a whole bunch of neoconservatives who go back and forth between the Bush conservative Republicans and the establishment Democrats. They're all the same when it comes to foreign policy. Trump is very different. That's why we have hopefully peace between North and South Korea. That's why we have an official end to the Korean War. There was a ceasefire in 1953. There was no official end. Now we have Moon Jae-in and Kim Jong-un signing these peace agreements It's just unbelievable. It's actually believable because of Trump. Graham, a Republican who has grown close to Trump in recent months, was asked about the New York Times report that Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein offered in May 2017 to wear a wire. This is Lindsey Graham. Now, let me tell you something. When Trump gets Lindsey Graham on his side, momentum is turning. Momentum is turning because Republicans love Trump, but also Lindsey Graham, I think, seems to me like a good man. Ted Cruz, I'm not 100% sure, although he'll win Texas. People like just I can't think of Paul Ryan doesn't necessarily. I don't think he's such a good human being. Lindsey Graham seems to be a good guy. But he's an establishment guy, one of the leaders of the establishment Republicans. And this dynamic of him moving closer and closer towards Trump is very good. Very, very, very good thing. Very good thing. Very good thing for Trump. Very bad thing for Democrats. Once the Republican Party removes the gloves and starts just punching back, fighting. Republicans have been on the defensive because there have been all the Mueller probe and everything. Trump has to go ahead and act decisively. Alexander M. Gonzalez, Humanist Report mentioned you yesterday. Okay. What did Alexander, what did he say? Probably, I'm assuming negative regarding Medicare for all, or that perhaps I'm crazy. I like Humanist Report. I have nothing bad to say about him. But there's been no rebuttal of the Mercatus study. So the only rebuttal is that, we don't like the number. But what did he say, Alexander? I have nothing against Humanist Report. So, but it should be interesting to find out what he said. Anyway, here is Lindsey Graham. And the establishment knows that Trump has been.
Right. One last question here. Should the president fire Rosenstein, and to what degree does this revelation compromise the investigation by the special counsel, Robert Mueller, whom Rosenstein appointed?
So Chris Wallace, really quickly, Chris Wallace, I believe that's who he is, yeah. I believe it's Chris Wallace. He is kind of like always, he doesn't like Trump. And when you hear him asking that type of question, it's also game over. Let's continue.
He shouldn't fire Rosenstein unless you believe Rosenstein's lying. He did not do the things alleged, but there's a bureaucratic coup against President Trump being discovered here. Before the election, the people in question tried to taint the election, tip it to Clinton's favor. After the election, they're trying to undermine the president. I don't know what Rosenstein did, but I know what McCabe or Page and Strzok did. They tried to destroy this president. If Rosenstein's involved, he should be fired. If he's not involved, leave him alone. But he can't make that decision. We need a special counsel to look at this, not Mr. Horowitz, the IG. Rosenstein's doing the country a great disservice by not appointing a special counsel to look at all of this.
So Lindsey Graham knows why Rosenstein won't, and Lindsey Graham wants a special counsel to look at all the FISA stuff. The FISA stuff leads to Hillary Clinton. She purchased the Steele dossier. The only reason there's a FISA is because of the Steele dossier. So that's the only reason. It all leads back to Hillary Clinton. And so that's the important aspect That's one important aspect of all of this. Special counsel. Joseph Arbuckle, thank you. A special counsel is like, hold on. A special counsel is needed. A special counsel is needed to go ahead and find out why we spied on Trump. Why? This is, okay, I'm going to explain something. Don't count on liberals or even a lot of progressives to like just use basic logic. You could throw that out the window now. And I'm talking as a former progressive. I can tell you right now, I did not ask how Medicare for all would be paid. I really didn't care. I kind of saw a $1.3 trillion number, then I forgot about it. Then it was like, the Mercatus study completely destroys the Medicare for all. The rebuttal is that the Mercatus study is bad. That is not a rebuttal. That is not a rebuttal. It is a study. Give me a university study or an economic study that says that $1.3 trillion per year in the annual budget of $4 trillion will be enough for 320 million people when we have 1.4 trillion already for 44 million people on Medicare. Medicare's 44 million people right now. Okay. So you don't go from 44 million to 320 million without a huge increase in taxes. Astronomical. That would tank the economy. Now I could be wrong, but there is no debate. The only rebuttal to that is, well, you're stupid. The Mercatus study is stupid, and that's it. But if it saves us money in the long term by bankrupting us in the short term, how does that work? Because the study said, even if you want us to use the Mercatus study, and also I think the author withdrew any claims that it saved money. But if the belief is that it saves money, then why would they ignore the one part that says in order to save money you have to double or triple taxes, personal and corporate? That makes just no sense at all. But see, again, there's no discussion. It's just it's the morality of it. It's we're moral. You're not moral. Republicans are not moral, but it's okay. It's okay if Trump gets spied on. That's not important. It is very important. You cannot have Bernie Sanders get cheated in a Democratic primary and Trump get attacked by the FBI and DOJ. You can't have those things because those things are synonymous. Those things are two sides of the same coin. And nobody's talking about Bernie getting cheated. That's also something I hate. But anyway, conservative to the core. I remember Chris Wallace's involvement in the so-called moderation during the election. Don't like him at all. Oh, Chris Wallace is just annoying. I agree with you. Conservative to the core. Thank you. Conservative to the core. Thank you. Richard Cherry, just like college football coach, your first couple of seasons, you play who you have. Exactly. This election is our chance to recruit pro-Trump. Exactly, Richard Cherry. Great point. Great point. So conservative to the core, Richard Cherry, I agree with you. And it's not going to be a blue wave. And what I'm saying is enough with caring what the left thinks. Who cares? Who cares? Fire Rosenstein, fire Mueller. The outrage meter will last only so long. Now, it'll be interesting to see how long they go with the Kavanaugh hearing, because that's going to just suck the life. It's already sucking the life, and it's actually hurting the Me Too movement. But see, Democrats, everything they touch, like the phrase, when a person who's like always lucky or whatever, everything he touches turns to gold. Everything they touch turns to Bandini. Calamity 450. Why no comment from spokesperson for FISA court? Aren't they upset, perturbed, feeling used? Yet not a word. Calamity 450, because they're all in on it, which is why Calamity 450 and conservative to the core and Richard Cherry, this is what Trump needs to do. He needs to simply go ahead and act decisively, especially after the midterms. Democrats are not going to win the midterms, not because of progressives. There are a lot of great people who are progressives. I hope that people understand my critique about Medicare for all or whatever. Bernie Sanders. I think Bernie Sanders is a good human being. I think that what he did was one of the biggest political miscalculations of all time. What he did was, you don't sleep with the devil. You don't make a deal with the devil. Okay? Power and leverage is not relinquished willingly. You don't simply say, oh, you are more powerful than me. You have already hurt me. Let me go ahead and acquiesce, and then maybe you can give me some crumbs. Maybe you can pick one policy from breaking up banks and everything, ending quagmires. Bernie's overall, platform is a whole bunch of things. They pick one policy, focus on it. They get every subsidiary channel focus on it. They run candidates focusing on it. Those candidates are going to get decimated. And they're going to lose. And then I'm telling you, to the progressives who still watch me, and I love you, because if you still watch me, maybe there was something about me when I was a progressive that you liked, and I thank you for that. Some of my writing, and I thank you for that, because I put my heart and soul into that. But I see the way the Democratic Party has used, abused, just beaten up Bernie Sanders, and he's a willing participant going ahead and pumping the Russia myth. But I'm telling you, they're going to turn on Bernie. They already did, just for Ohio's Troy Balderson. So, I mean, the Democrats are not going to, and Richard Cherry brought up a great point. Great point. This is just like this is a college football team. New college football coach, you go in. Why do you keep telling me to scroll up? What the heck? I'm trying to see. Anyway. What takes place is that this is now, it's all or nothing. You better hit the free throw, Democrats. You better hit the free throw. Okay? You better hit that free throw. You have a team that, it's all the money in Fort Knox. You just put all your eggs in, 4 great players. You have the best team ever. You're down by 1. You have 2 free throws left, and it's 2 seconds left. And if you don't hit those 2 free throws to win the game, you're done. Democrats are done. And their subsidiary channels are going to be affected also. I'm talking about media companies. I'm talking about MSNBC, CNN, and all the usual suspects that parrot everything they say. I don't get into beefs anymore because, I don't care. I'm not a progressive anymore. So, progressives always fight each other. They hate each other. I don't. A person would have to say something really stupid about me for me to even respond now. But Dan Noyes, the smallest minority on earth is the individual. Those who deny individual rights cannot claim to be defenders of minorities. Exactly. I agree with you. Second Amendment is a huge human right. Dan Noyes, your freedom of speech is a huge human right. They say healthcare is a right, but they don't say speech is a right. They want to censor speech. They want to stop people from saying things because they don't think it's a human right. They don't think it's a natural right. Nano Horizon, this isn't about Dems or Republicans. It's about freedom. You do in the U.S. have one shot at taking country back. Don't F it up. Thank you. Nano Horizon, you're 100% right. Nano Horizon, you're 100% right. And Dan Noyes, you are 100% right. I agree with you. They know what's going on. he has to go ahead and he has to stop. Trump has to stop worrying about, and Republicans in general have to stop worrying about Democrats and how they'll react. Democrats don't care. They don't care about logic, reason. They want every single advantage and more. And I mean, it's just absurd to have an investigation with 17 partisans or 13, started off, I think, 13 partisans. And they would never allow that against Hillary. I mean, can you believe it? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? But I gave Democrats, I looked at all 37 of the Cook Political Report toss up and lean. I just want to show you something. I gave them 22 seats, 22 wins. I just gave them 22 wins. I just gave them. So if you subtract certain races, and this, you can go ahead and write this down if you want, because I'll be interested to see if I'm accurate. I'll be interested to see if I'm accurate here. Dave Bratt at where is this thing? All right, they have Dave Bratt at Virginia. I think that he's going to win. I think that he's going to beat Spanberger. All right. That's of the 22 that I was very generous in giving. Very generous. Let's look at the polls. This is Virginia. They have Virginia 7. So Virginia 7. I think Brad beats Spanberger. But let's go ahead and Brad up 4. Okay, but doesn't I don't think the polls matter that much actually, but they do matter if it's an incumbent up. It's pretty good. And Republicans are always, get the short end of the stick. They always get the short end of the stick in polls. So I gave Democrats a loss here. All right. I gave Democrats a loss here. I am now doing just a completely. So I'm just looking in my original model or assessment or whatever. I mean, when they use the word model, it's all a bunch of nonsense anyway. They plug numbers that fit their bias. It's not scientific. It's all this giant guess game. That's why Nate Silver at 538 didn't even think that Trump would be GOP nominee. But governments will Dan Noyes, governments will steal your money, property, life, dignity, leaving you little more than a domesticated farm animal that has the propensity to fatten up on freebies given to you by the government. Dan, I do agree with you for the most part. There are there's certain times when, the government does need to get involved, but I do agree with you. The government will steal your money and property. I mean, the eminent domain is an example. You're just minding your business and they're like, oh yeah, we got to build a mall or this highway. So Dan Noyes, thank you. I agree with you. Especially when it comes to, oh, they have WMD. Oh, no, they don't. I agree with you on that. So if you just subtract the races that I'm mentioning, Virginia, I say Dave Brad beats Spanberger. Spanberger is a former CIA official. Why would Republicans, beleaguered by the CIA and the FBI and all this, want to vote for a former CIA official in a Republican district? It makes no sense, but Cook put them in toss-up, so there you go. There you go. Then they put Iowa 3. Then they put Iowa 3 as a toss-up, and I'm wondering why. Why would you put Iowa 3 as a toss-up? So now, again, I don't care about polls so much, but one poll has Young up 16. So I don't even get this at all. At all. Cindy Axne, I believe she'll lose. David Young will win. So how do you get this? So in Iowa 3, and I gave, by the way, in my model or analysis, Iowa 3 to Democrats. So I gave them, I was very, 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 very generous. I gave them the races that I'm now saying are very likely going to be won by Republicans. All right. I gave them the benefit of the doubt in so many of the different contests of the 37 toss-up, whatever, they're not going to win. Okay. I only found 22, and that's giving them where Democrats could possibly win or likely to win. The other ones were like ridiculous. They put people, I have no idea why Cook and others they put California Republicans, Mimi Walters, who got like 62,000 people show up for a primary. And they say, oh, well, it's a toss-up. How? How could it be a toss-up? A lot of the establishment Democrats aren't going to go and show up for the more progressive candidates anyway. They don't care about, the establishment Democrats don't care about a lot of the progressive issues. But anyway, so David Young defeats Axne. So that's 2 right there. Okay, so then there's a New York 19, Faso. So New York 19, if you look at the polls, I think he's down a little, but he has an advantage because in the primary in 2017, he won by a substantial margin, and I think he has the cash advantage. New York Faso polls. So Faso versus Antonio Delgado. I think Faso will win that one. It's a pretty Republican part. It's the northern part of New York. So I think Faso defeats. He's up in a poll, and then Faso Delgado's up in a poll. So I think Faso beats Delgado. Okay, that's New York 19. And then there's Tenney, New York. Let's look at, hold on one second. New York 22. So the polls are close with Faso and Delgado, but when the polls are close, it's 8 out of 10 times, 8 out of 9, depending on if you count one as a special election. But 8 out of 10 Republicans have won when it's close in special elections since Trump has been in office. So I don't get it. Like, I don't see, like, blue wave. Oh, today was a great one. You want to hear what today's? Oh, my God. GOP eyes midterm disaster. Democrats take 12-point lead. And then you get the Senate's in play also now. If it holds, the 12 percentage point margin would suggest a blue wave large enough to switch control of not just the House, but also the Senate. Whatever. These people are like, they gaslight themselves. They're masters at gaslighting themselves. So New York 19, New York 22. New York 22 Tenney polls. So this, it's like neck and neck. Like neck and neck. Of course, they had the Democrat Brindisi up by 10 in April, and then oops, he's only up by 2 in August. It was 538. Brindisi up by 2, and Tenney just got Trump did a fundraiser for Tenney in New York. So I'm picking, and then she is very well established in that district in New York, upstate New York. So I'm just saying that, I mean, it's obvious she's going to win, but whatever. I gave it to the Democrats in my other model. I gave it to the Democrats in my model. I love when they use the word model. These pollsters, like, my model. Your model is crap. Your model should just be a giant model of poop. Claudia Tenney defeats Brindisi. So that's just 4 right there. That's just 4 right there. Subtract 4 from the 22 that I just gave Democrats, because the 15 that they say are toss-ups, they're not toss-ups. They're entrenched Republicans with tremendous amount of support within their districts, where the primaries showed them gaining 10, 20, 30, 40,000 more votes than the Democratic challenger. And they show the polls are neck and neck. Well, if you already got 62,000 people like Mimi Walters, or 30 or 40,000 people like Dana Rohrabacher in California, 2 California Republicans, and their challengers got half that, or a third that, how do you expect to flip a seat? There are only so many people in a district who will just get out of bed or, miss work or, take a lunch break to go vote. So it's just, so if you subtract 4 of the very likely, I do not smoke weed, but I want it to be legalized. So if you subtract 4 of the very likely, and this is like, when I'm trying to say, like, this is the future of the country here. Absolutely. I'm all for, I want it legal and the federal level as well. I mean, obviously, federal throughout the country. And the Schedule 1, that's insane. But that's 17. So they get 17. If everything goes their way, I have no clue how they get 40 toss-ups or 37 toss-ups when they started with only, 23 toss-ups in January. You can look at CNN. You can look at CNN, and they'll start with like 23, 24 toss-ups in January, February. And then suddenly it goes to 37 toss-ups for Cook. It's like, why? Why? And I don't know how the industry, I don't know how anyone is going to believe polls again when they lose. This is a great one. Hillary would beat Donald Trump by a landslide in election rerun. Well, bring it on. This is the Sunday Express, UK. Bring it on. Let's do it. Let's do it. I want to see the complete destruction. I want to see the complete destruction of the Democratic Party. I'm not, really enjoying that much the slow descent into Hades, because you got to deal with all this craziness, soft coup, and they're trying to get him, and oh my God, this person flipping saying, you got to hear the whole same nonsense. Patty Karen, I agree 100% with you. Patty Karen, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to just copy that quote right there. Patty Karen, November 6, 2018 will go down in history as the day the Democratic Party died. I love that so much. I love that so much. I love that so much. Patty, thank you so very much. I love that. I love that. All I can say is God willing. In Hebrew, you say Baruch Hashem. So, Baruch Hashem, it happens. That would be amazing. The Democrats are the most, they're beyond evil now. I don't know. I can't get it beyond evil, but they're evil. They're just, they want to utilize, they want to go ahead. So thank you, Patty Karen. That was an awesome, awesome quote. But November 6th is also the day we party. Party. So then you have I can list like 3 or 4 that are just up for grabs that, that let's just look at, so let's just look at, I gave seats to, like there's one seat, so Iowa 1, Bloom. So Iowa 1, I didn't even look at Iowa 1. So that's 4. I looked at Iowa 3. But if you look at Iowa 1, it's Bloom. Hold on one second. Yeah, so Hillary Clinton would beat Donald Trump by a landslide in election rerun poll reveals. Please. Just go ahead. The economy is absolutely great. The Democrats will lose again. And the media will eventually have to realize, that they're horrible. Now, there's an interesting race in Iowa 1, Bloom versus Finkenauer. Rod Bloom versus Abby Finkenauer. And the New York Times has her up 15. But an Emerson poll has her up 5. He's the incumbent. Okay? He's the incumbent. But if you look, Rod Bloom, DM, vote for Shiva. Send DM, thank you. Okay, so hold on one second. So that could be. So I just gave you 4. Virginia 7, Dave Bratt is going to win that. But I didn't even, in my initial model of 22 wins, I didn't even give these wins to Republicans. I gave them to Democrats. But I'm telling you, Virginia 7, Dave Bratt's going to win. Iowa 3, David Young's going to win. New York 19, I'm pretty sure John Faso is going to win. New York 22, Claudia Tenney's going to win. And then, like I said, you have this one, Rod Bloom, Iowa first. They give, that's a toss-up. But Rod Bloom, this is a rural area of Iowa. A rural area of Iowa. Rural voters love Trump. And if you look at Rod Bloom 2017, $206,000 votes compared to the Democrat 177,000 votes. He got a lot of people to vote for him in 2017 for the primary, for the House District 1 result. So Iowa U.S. House 1st District results. Rod Bloom wins. New York Times, August 1st, 2017. Rod Bloom, Republican, 206,000 to Monica Vernon, Democrat, 177,000. So he already got 206,000 people to vote for him. The Democrat there got, 30,000 less. And somehow Abby Finkenauer is going to go ahead and beat him in that district because people in New York hate Trump, or people in, California hate Trump. His approval rating is low among liberals in California. How does it even work? It's like ridiculous. So that's one. I think Rod Bloom's going to win that one, but I can't say with certainty on that or anything, but I can tell you that that's not, like, you would have to really have a blue wave of just absolute enthusiasm. Absolute enthusiasm. I'll say he likely defeats. So you can have 5, subtract 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you'll get 17. Or no, 5, sorry, from the 22. Yeah, you'll get 17. That's Iowa. And this is just as scientific, by the way, as all the other nonsense. Well, we did this and we added weights here and we changed the numbers here. Whatever. It's not science. You didn't even think, 538 didn't even think that Trump would be GOP nominee. I'm sorry. Please don't tell me how great these pollsters are. But hold on, let's see. Why is okay? So yeah, this says lean Democrat. So here's a lean Democrat that I'm not even getting to. I didn't even look at. So wait a second. This race right here. That's the assumption. They're all based on the assumption that Democrats keep or Democrats flip. Oh, that's right. So that's right. I did. So Rod Bloom likely defeats Abby Finkenauer. That's Iowa 3. Sorry. Okay, so I did take that into account. 22. So Iowa 1. So it's boring, but it's important because you can track these If you track these, Virginia 7, Iowa 3, New York 19, New York 22, Iowa 1. If you track that, and I'll give you like all the ones to track right before. Actually, you could just track all 37 that I looked at from the Cook political report. You track those, and they don't get 23. It's pretty much game over. They're not going to get 23 because I only came with 22. And by the way, the polls tighten. The polls tighten for Republicans in Republican-held districts all the time. So I just want to see Abby Finkenauer. Let's see, why would she beat this guy? Abby Finkenauer. She's already a representative, serving House of Representatives, member of the Democratic Party. So I don't get why she would win in a Republican district. '99th district since 2015. Sorry. So she just left. Remember, she was also economic. Okay. Okay, so she was a member of the she's represented the 99th district. Now she's going to the 1st district. And the 1st district is Trump country. Iowa 1. Wait, let's look at Iowa 1. Did they? Just want to see Iowa District 1. Trump 2016. It might have, you know what? I have to find out if it, but anyway, the point is this. This is a guy who is in that district. Why would a new person come in? Iowa went big for Trump. So, like, Washington Post, Rod Bloom, Abby Finkenauer win Iowa 1st congressional district primaries. Rod Bloom, a Republican, is running against Democrat Abby Finkenauer in a race to represent Iowa's 1st district. Bloom has represented the districts in the House since 2015. Why would the incumbent simply? The district went Democrat for Hillary Clinton in 2016 by a margin of 3.5 points. That's nothing. Trump, a Republican, won Iowa by 9.4 points. So, and she's far more progressive than Hillary Clinton, which pundits say, well, you see, that's energy. No, it's not, because Bernie was cheated. Why would it be energy if Bernie was cheated? And people know that Democrats are playing. So anyway, I don't see these things taking place. They're relying on a whole bunch for Democrats to get 23 seats. They're the ones, all the statistical, the statisticians, all the people who love numbers. You're relying on a whole lot of things to take place. You're relying on a whole lot of voters to come out and vote out incumbents in a good economy. So it's like all of these polling experts don't take that into account. If CNN and MSNBC and the Washington Post and New York Times could influence voters, we would never have Trump. He would never be nominee, like 538 said. So Democrats are like, they've again dug themselves into, they're like, oh, well, he's gonna, there's gonna be a blue wave. It's not gonna be a blue wave. Ain't gonna happen. Let's see. District 99, Iowa. I want to see District 99, Iowa. Did it go for Clinton? All right. So anyway, I just want to see how many voters. Abby Finkenauer, did she win? We're in this 2017. What the heck? I don't know. I'm reading something. It says could become the youngest woman elected to Congress. Then it says she's on her Wikipedia page. It's like all over the place. Finkenauer. Anyway. Is an American political serving as the member of the Iowa House of Representatives. Iowa House of Representatives. I was reading it wrong. See, I apologize. Sorry. Calamity 450. I'm already sitting already gone. My Eagles, but one word change because you're already gone, and I'm feeling strong. I will sing this victory song. Ooh, yes, Calamity 450. I like it. So the House of Representatives, but see, this is the thing. The Iowa House of Representatives is different. The entrenched, this guy Bloom is entrenched. He already knows the district. He's been there, and Iowa's Trump country. It's not Clinton country, and it's not Democrat country because nobody knows what country Democrats really stand for or want. Are they Medicare for all? Are they Nancy Pelosi? What's going on? Did they cheat Bernie? Did they not? They want? Did Russia hack the? I don't. Who knows? Kavanaugh, but not Ellison. Oh, who knows? So how is Bloom going to defeat? So I put likely. Rod Bloom likely defeats Abby Finkenauer. So of here, you got 5 races. You subtract 5 from the 22 that I found, it's 17. Far short. They're like, we can still get, 7 or 6 that want to impeach Trump. 6 Republicans. You're still 6 away. So you're still 6 away from 23. So they need 23 seats. But they're like, a lot has to happen. Florida man, HA, been watching your channel for over 2 years. Still amazed at how your views have evolved, but the truth is, mine have too. Thanks for the amazing content. Thank you, Florida man. Thank you so much, Florida man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Calamity 450. Thank you as always, Florida man. I predict Ron DeSantis, and I think that I think Rick Scott is going to win. I think Rick Scott's going to win. I think the Florida politics, kind of like California politics in a way, kind of. Although Florida is far more red. Yeah, Rick Scott's already up in the polls, and he was down. Yeah. How can you have a blue wave when when they're gonna gain seats in the Senate? It makes no sense. Florida, man, thank you so very much. Yeah, my views have evolved, and I'm reading. I'm reading. I'm reading the live chat. That's pretty good, Alexander. It's funny. JMW Seattle. Why is there no poll asking the question? Do you want Trump impeached? JMW Seattle, because it would totally destroy the Democratic Party's narrative. They wouldn't dare. JMW Seattle. They wouldn't dare ask people that. Oh my God. And I think that maybe they did, and it came out. Most people do. But I haven't heard. I mean, it's been a while. I think they're always coming up with polls. I was looking the other day at polls, and like Hillary Clinton up, big 3 weeks in. It's like women are going to propel Clinton. Everything they said is wrong. Everything they said is wrong. And then like the other night, some person was like, you said Bernie was going to win, and you said Clinton was going to get indicted. Yeah, Peter Strzok and Debbie Wasserman Schultz. No more debate. No more debate. At least I have the pulse of what's going on. I called the election. Even I read one article talking about how I called and grudgingly said, well, he did call the election, but he just hates Democrats so much, or, Hillary so much. It didn't take it seriously. Like, why would you not? Whatever. Florida man, thank you. Florida man, thank you. So, I mean, here you have, Virginia 7, Iowa 3, New York 19, New York 22, Iowa 1. I think that would give you right then and there. I mean, Democrats have to win all of those for a blue wave. They got to win all of those for a blue wave. Those are all must wins for Democrats for a blue wave. Okay. And I mean, there are others too, like Pennsylvania. Okay, there's this guy, Keith Rothfuss. He's hilarious. I love this guy. He's hilarious. So Connor Lamb won. Oh, I love Connor Lamb. Well, he won. That was one of their only victories. The Demo Rats. I watched Kevin's Corner, and he calls the Democrats Demo Rats. Kevin's Corner is great. Subscribe to Kevin's Corner. His channel will zoom past mine, and he deserves it. He's awesome. Hold on one second. Hold on. This is Keith Rothfuss. These are what the Democrat challengers have to deal with in middle America. Okay. This is why I don't think they're going to get a blue wave. Oh, I love this so much. Look at this. This guy goes old school. He's hardcore, and he goes old school.
Who's Connor Lamb protecting? Not seniors. Lamb supports a program that took benefits from Medicare, not the sick. Lamb wants to keep higher taxes on prescriptions and insurance, not families. Lamb voted to protect criminals hiding in sanctuary cities.
No.
Is Connor Lamb
Who is he?
protecting a mouse? Lamb voted to spend tax dollars protecting mice. Seriously. Protecting us. Keith Rothfuss for Congress.
I'm Keith Rothfuss, and I approve this message.
This works really well. Those are the ads that work. Not like, we want a better future for tomorrow. Weak sauce. No. These are the good ads. These are the good. Who's Connor Lamb really? He likes bad things. Connor Lamb likes bad things. He only votes for bad things. Paid for by the people for good things. So this is so great. This is so awesome. So it's like, yeah, what's this thing with mice? I gotta go ahead and find that. Okay, so wait, Connor Lamb mouse. Connor Lamb mouse. Does Connor Lamb support rodents or Medicare recipients? Republican Keith Rothfus poses the question in a TV ad. In a televised, we decided to mouse around and vet the claim ourselves. Here's what we found: the mouse. Lamb and almost every Democrat in the House voted in July against a measure that would end the use of taxpayer money to implement or enforce the threatened species listing of the Peebles Meadow jumping field mouse. Okay. Wait. End the use of taxpayer funds to implement or enforce the threatened species. Okay. So I guess he's right about that. But people in rural areas don't care about the field mouse. Am I wrong on this? Am I going out on a limb here? If you're in Iowa, you don't really care about the and even if it's endangered. Or do you? Maybe I'm wrong. The measure was introduced by, the mouse is a species native to Colorado and Wyoming and was first listed as threatened under the, this is what they're voting on. Okay, I guess it is important, but federal, more than $390,000 protecting, well, that's a lot of money. The Peebles field mouse in 2016. Earlier this year, the Fish and Wildlife Agency rejected a petition filed by home builders and ranchers who argued the mouse shouldn't be protected because it isn't a distinct subspecies, but is essentially the same as others, more plentiful mice. Oh my God. You spent $500,000 protecting the mouse? I don't, the jumping field mouse. By voting against the measure, Lamb effectively supported the continued use of taxpayer money for that purpose. Okay. All right. I'm not gonna. It's like, I understand you don't want species to go extinct, but the jumping field mouse. Wow. I don't know. Of course, there are a lot of progressives who'll be like, "You're an evil person, H.A. Goodman. You don't like the jumping field mouse, Preebles." Well, we knew you weren't progressive all along, H.A. Goodman. You're not a Preebles field mouse supporter. We knew you. We're glad you're a Trumper. We hate you. Long live the Preebles field mouse. Jumping field mouse. I think that's a mouse protector's game.
H.A. Goodman is against protecting the jumping field mouse. Now we know what our fears have told us all along. He was a secret Trumper. Wow.
So he did. He should just do another one. So wait, let's listen to this again.
Who's Connor Lamb protecting? Nazi
He's protecting the field jumping mouse.
years. Lamb supports a program that took billions from Medicare, not the sick. Lamb wants to keep higher taxes on prescriptions and insurance, not families. Lamb voted to protect criminals hiding in sanctuary cities. Who is Connor Lamb protecting? A mouse.
A mouse,
Lamb voted to spend tax dollars.
but not just any mouse.
Mice. Seriously. Protecting us. Keith Rothfuss for Congress.
I'm Keith Rothfuss, and I approve this message.
What he should do, Rothfuss, is like, you see this mouse? You see this mouse? No, that's horrible. Mr. I'm a simple man. I see HA is live and I click. Thank you, Mr. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Greatly appreciated. My scary disease, they do. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my God. So I'm not even touching the Rothfuss, but he better beat, like, Connor Lamb better beat this guy. Basically, this guy's ruthless. Ruthless. He is ruthless. I mean, that's also one that I'm watching. PA 17. Now I'm just gonna put might PA 17 Keith Rothfuss might defeat Connor Lamb. I mean, Connor Lamb does protect the Preebly's jumping field mouse, so I give him that. But it's only $500,000 almost to protect the Preebly's jumping field mouse. Federal and state governments spent more than $390,000 protecting the Preebly's field mouse. Like, but who's going ahead and why? Like, what are these ranchers doing? They're just going on like hunts for the Preebly's field mouse. Why do you need to? They're mice. They procreate like crazy. The most recent year for which the data is available, the mouse's ESA designation has certainly been controversial in Colorado, where it's been blamed for delays in food recovery efforts. Oh my God. And scorned by landowners and developers. Many a BB gun has been used, or 22. Colorado food recovery efforts not delayed by Preebly's field jumping mouse. Oh, well, okay. This is a new U.S. Fish and Wildlife. Let's calm everyone's fears. Recent news accounts suggest the Endangered Species Act and the Preebly's meadow jumping mouse are delaying food recovery projects in Colorado. Flood recovery projects. Flood recovery. So this is 2014. Anyway. Well, that's interesting. I don't know. That's 6 right here. I would say 5 of the 22 that I just gave Democrats. And you subtract that, you get 17. You subtract the 6, you get 16. They're well. I mean, I would not be surprised that they get. I would not be surprised they get 16 or 17. You know. Tamara Friedman. HA, did you know that lime tick has carried mice, not deer? Yep. What are they trying to spread? Tamara, I agree with that's Lyme disease you can get. Yeah. I think like the rats or mice, and then it gets to the I used to worry about that growing up, Lyme disease. I saw a 2020 episode. I was like, Lyme disease is everywhere. I saw that 2020 episode. It messed my mind up. I was like, Lyme disease. It's a very serious thing. Tamara Friedman, you're right. I mean, what are they trying to spread? Democrats are like, if we can let the jumping field mice. My whole thing is 500,000. I mean, no, 390,000. Like, what are the ranchers just going ahead and trying to I guess set traps and just kill the mice, kill the jumping field mouse? I don't know. Tamara Friedman, you're right about the Lyme tick. Tamara Friedman, thank you as always. Tamara, thank you as always. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. To the Preebly's jumping field mouse, thank you. It's going to be a fun November 6th. And if Connor Lamb loses, it'll be because of his jumping field mouse vote. Give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. Thank you so very much. No, Thomas Blow, I am not a I'm a registered Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. I'm just a Trump supporter. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless. I'll see you very soon. Thank you.